Some years just seem to change everything. And 2025, it was absolutely one of them. It was a year where we pushed the frontiers of what we know, from the deepest, darkest oceans to the farthest corners of space, and even deep inside the code of life itself. So let's dive into a year of truly staggering discovery.
We're going to start with a number that, not too long ago, would have been pure science fiction. This is the big one. In September, NASA officially confirmed the discovery of the 6,000th known exoplanet. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. We've gone from just wondering about other worlds to actually cataloging thousands of them. This is a whole new chapter in our search for what else is out there.
Meanwhile, back here on Earth, another massive milestone was hit. In March, OpenAI's GPT 4.5 reportedly became indistinguishable from a human being in conversation. Yeah, it passed the legendary Turing test, the ultimate benchmark for machine intelligence. The line between human and artificial thought, well, it just got incredibly blurry.
And here's where those two worlds, the search for new planets and new intelligence, might just come together. In April, scientists were studying the exoplanet K2-18b, and they found huge amounts of something called dimethyl sulfide in its atmosphere. Now, why does that matter? Well, on our planet, that gas is almost exclusively produced by life, like tiny phytoplankton in the ocean. It's not proof of aliens, not yet, but it is the strongest chemical hint of life we have ever found. Wow.
That amazing spirit of exploration really defines our first section here. In 2025, humanity was pushing boundaries like never before, looking further out into the cosmos, while also, and this is the cool part, turning our gaze to the alien worlds that exist right here on our own planet.
I mean, the cosmic discoveries in 2025 just came so fast, we confirmed the most distant galaxy we've ever seen, basically peering back to the dawn of time. We learned that Saturn has a mind-boggling 274 moons. 274? We found 4 rocky planets orbiting Barnard's star, our closest solar star neighbor, and, get this, for the very first time, we got a direct look at the sun's south pole. Any one of these would be a huge story, but together, they just show how fast our view of the universe is expanding.
But here's the twist. For all our incredible success in looking across billions of light-years of space, one of the biggest frontiers, one of the greatest unknowns, is right here on Earth. Think about it. We can map galaxies 13.4 billion light-years away, but an estimated 90% of the species in our own oceans? A complete and total mystery?
So let's put that into perspective for a second. Scientists figure there could be up to 2 million different species living in our oceans. To date, we've only identified about 240,000 of them. That means for every one creature we know about, there could be 9 others we have never, ever seen. We've barely scratched the surface. It's incredible.
So what is lurking down there? Well, in 2025, an expedition to the Southern Ocean brought back footage of things that seem like they're straight out of a sci-fi movie. They found a carnivorous death ball sponge. Yeah, you heard that right. Mouthless zombie worms that literally eat whale bones. And for the first time ever, they filmed a live colossal squid just hanging out in its natural habitat. It's just a huge reminder that there are alien worlds right under our noses.
So, while some scientists were busy exploring new worlds out there, others were rewriting the code of our world in here. 2025 saw some unbelievable leaps in our ability to actually engineer biology and reshape life itself.
The whole idea of de-extinction just exploded in 2025. This company, Colossal Biosciences, created a mouse with traits like a woolly mammoth to help it survive the cold. Then they made genetically modified wolves with characteristics of the extinct dire wolf. And by July, they announced their next big, ambitious target, bringing back the giant moa bird, a creature that stood 12 feet tall. This stuff is happening.
And this power, this genetic mastery, is also changing human lives in a big way. In just groundbreaking news, doctors in the UK reported a new gene therapy that slowed the progression of Huntington's disease by an incredible 75%. This is a fatal genetic disorder that destroys nerve cells in the brain. To slow it down that dramatically is a massive leap forward, offering real, tangible hope where there was very little before.
And of course, AI is playing a huge role in this revolution. It's not just talking to us anymore.
It's creating. Microsoft unveiled a tool called MatterGen, which is a generative AI that can discover and design completely new materials from scratch. Just imagine an AI inventing a new, super light alloy for a spacecraft, or the perfect material for a medical implant. That's the future this tech is unlocking right now.
Okay, so from the code of life, we're now going to turn inward to maybe the most complex and personal mystery of all, our own minds, and specifically how we remember the story of our lives.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how all the memories from a single day feel, well, connected? Like chapters in a story, but events from just a few weeks apart can feel totally disconnected, like they happened to someone else. It turns out there's a really cool reason for that.
The answer, which was revealed in a 2025 study, is just fascinating. Our brains don't just store memories like they're separate files on a computer. Nope. They physically link the neurons from memories that are formed close together in time. They are actively weaving your experiences into a sequence. This is what creates that feeling of a continuous story for any given day. Your brain isn't just a hard drive, it's a storyteller.
And that brings us to our final section, the story of our planet. Now, 2025 brought some pretty stark warnings about the challenges we're facing, but it also delivered some powerful, hopeful examples of the incredible science that's rising to meet them.
So, the challenge was laid bare pretty early in the year. The monitoring station at Mauna Loa reported the single biggest annual jump in atmospheric CO2 ever recorded. The levels hit 427 parts per million. That's more than 50% higher than before the industrial age. A huge, huge jump.
And the impact of that warming was felt all over the globe. The reports that came out of the Great Barrier Reef were just devastating. They confirmed that a massive bleaching event had hit 80% of the coral colonies there, and in some areas, the mortality rate was as high as 95%.
But in the face of this crisis, human ingenuity sparked some real hope. Australia's National Science Agency, CSIRO, announced a brand new technology they call larval seed boxes. These are basically little devices designed to capture coral spawn and then deliver them to damaged reefs, actively reseeding them and helping to regenerate these absolutely vital ecosystems.
And this was just one of many amazing breakthroughs. In Cambridge, scientists developed a solar-powered reactor that literally pulls CO2 from the air and turns it into clean fuel. Over at Berkeley, they created a new material from recycled plastic bottles that captures CO2 with incredible efficiency. And other researchers found a way to use just sunlight to break down those nasty forever chemicals in our water. The solutions are starting to emerge, and they are brilliant.
Which really leaves us with this one final thought. 2025 gave us a clearer picture of the universe, of our planet, and of ourselves than we have ever had before. It gave us powerful new tools to solve some of our biggest problems. So the only question that remains is the most important one of all. What are we going to do with it?